Greetings, Masandawana, back with another installment of the Yellow Corners. We bring you the preview of our latest game, which will be against Golden Arrows in the last 16 of the Carling Knockout competition at Lucas Masterpieces Moripe, Saturday, 6 o'clock in the evening. And today, I'm joined by a member of this family, the Yellow Corner, Dipulani, Carol Tebo of the Hodi. Sure, that Debs, I will just use Debs. Or I don't know, maybe I should use a certain nickname, but yeah, I'll use Debs.
No, Christine Masandawana, thank you for inviting me, my friend. As to which name you want to use, I guess you'll see which suits you best, whether nicknames or my conventional names. Yeah, thank you for the invite, my man. I look forward to the show.
No, it's a pleasure, man. The last time we were together, we were FNB watching and analyzing the game your Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, man. So I wish we had recorded that, man. If only one knew, it would be such a great conversation, man. Maybe gone live, on YouTube while at the stadium, but yeah, man. I'm glad you're wearing that jersey, man. I'm glad you're wearing that legendary jersey. No one is going to call you a Sundowns supporter to 2016 because you are wearing a proper Sundowns jersey.
Yeah, no, I had to make sure that I come through correct so that we shut the noise if there's any out there to think, oh no, Sundowns, because re tswa kwa le yona ko morago ko matlhokong na go re sa utlwa dipeini ka matsatsing a bo iwi love mochafunya bo Tseini it is true. So that's how far I come from ka this team.
Yeah, I know, from back in the day, the original Shusha and Piano.
True.
Yeah, man. Before we start this preview or delve into the preview of the game, man, we're starting this on a bit of a sad note, man. On Tuesday, while watching international football, we saw our captain and leader, legend of the club, Themba Zwane, go down, man. And when he went down and signaled to the bench, I knew it was a bad one. I just didn't know what. I hoped maybe it was ankle twist or something like that, sprained ankle. But unfortunately, it is a terrible one, man. It is, he ruptured his Achilles tendon, man. So he will be out for quite some time. Coach Mangoba in the press conference here, the Carling Knockout mentioned already, it is a partial rupture, so he will be out for 4 to 6 months, which is a long time, the moment they mentioned it is an Achilles tendon, my mind went to the pictures that I saw of Operation the French and PSG defender Kimpembe. If you want to see how bad that injury is, Google Kimpembe Achilles tendon injury. It's not a nice injury, man. His close friend Villa once suffered that while he was still at Sundowns, man. So how big a blow do you think this injury is or will be to us? Because I personally think this is a huge blow. This guy, he's our leader, he's our captain, he's orange, Themba Zwane, when the chips are down, we look to him to conjure up something, So I think we will miss Themba big time, And I look back at what Real Madrid did a few weeks ago when a legend of theirs, Indani Carvajal, suffered an ACL and will be out for the rest of the season. A few hours later, they mentioned that they renewed his contract for another year. So I really hope Sundowns does something similar because we won't see much of Chika this season. Yes, it might be an emotional decision from my side, but I do not want. I want Zwane to bow out properly, and I want Themba Zwane to be at the Club World Cup next year. So I really hope for Sundowns does give him an extra year, As emotional a decision as it is, I would definitely do that. Your thoughts?
Whatever. It's very interesting that you raise this one here because, like I don't know if we're speaking privately about the recent injuries that are befalling a lot of players right now. And when you mention Themba, So I was trying to read about what could have easily caused it. Obviously, you know, circumstances are different to each and every player. But some people were mentioning that type of a pitch, there's more likely, you know, possibility a player could get such an injury. And number one, we're considering AJ Themba and the type of injury that now he's suffering and the situation in our contract, you know. Themba, like you said, you've put in a perfect word when you said or, and I said this thing go Themba ke or. I don't care who says what. Themba ke ora ya Sundowns right now. Probably other people before him or whatever, but for now, Themba ke ora Sundowns, and it's a major blow. More so painful because of the type of contract that he's in now. So imagine now, Umisa so much of the season. When he comes back, it might not be the same for him. You understand? Because recovery and how you perform after that type of injury, it's not easy. Because Liv Villa went through the same, you know, tough time after recovering from that injury. So I worry for him. And like you say, when it's an emotional one. It's the same way it was emotional for Nakashombo. It's the same way it is emotional for Themba. I would prefer it, and I would have been happy because I think he deserves that, man. Yeah, he's not so much for the team, and it's only befitting that he must be there. You understand? To be on that platform and shine like we know him how to shine. I really wish him not only a speed recovery but a full recovery, and that when he does come back, he finds his feet very quickly so that he can gel into the system, and hopefully we won't have lost. You know, we won't have missed. I can see what by 4 months, 6 months.
Yeah, you're looking at towards the tail end of the season.
Are we there? Should we progress that far? You know, I'm hoping by then recovery is good enough, and if fully, and he gets back into it as quick as possible, so that I can participate. So that he's also availing himself and saying to management or Mangoba, if he's still there by then, or whoever needs to make a decision or no, extend. So that because FIFA creates a new rule that, you know, players can still be extended even if contracts are already fell out by before or even 10 days during that period there, that tournament. They can still
they going to give a window for teams to sign earlier and before the official transfer window opens. So yeah, man. Speedy recovery, like you said, to Sheik. I mean, he had this operation today, since the 17th of October, man. So yeah, hopefully it was a successful one. And going into this game, last season we didn't win any domestic trophies. How important is that we win this specific trophy?
I don't know. Maybe Kikiwa, because of I've got into a culture, and I blame my team, and I blame the legacy creating Coach Pizzo, that win everything that's there. Go out and the previous coach obviously always said, whatever that's available, go out and fight for it. And you go out and want to fight for every game, you understand? Obviously, reality is something, but I think it's very important that we get a domestic trophy this season together with the bread and butter, you know, the bread and butter, and also the other one. But see that we're discussing this one, I would really want us to actually go as far as getting to the finals and win this trophy. I mean, it would do well for the confidence, both the management, the coach, and the team, and also, you know, getting a buy-in finally, the entire Masandawana family. Okay, at least now we've got something before we go to the bread and butter. Now we've got a domestic A1 already in the pocket.
No, man, I share the same sentiments as you, man. It is very, very important that we win this trophy, man. I think Sundowns is way too good a team to be winning the league only locally. Yes, last season we won the AFL. They might say it is a made-up trophy, but if we hadn't won it, they were gonna say we were terrible. You know, in Africa with all the expenditure and all that. You know, so I think it is very important that we win this trophy as well as the league. You know, and the other thing I think, like you say, this trophy means there will be more of a buy-in from the management and the fan base, you know. And I think this will give credit in the bank for Mangoba, you know. It will give calmness within the team, you know. And yeah, man, going to the new year with a trophy, you know, I think it will be a huge morale booster for us going into the second round of the season, man. We didn't have the best of starts when it comes to the season, you know. Yeah, it was tipsy-turvy, man, at the start of the season. We've now come back. We've now had 2 international weekends. Man. How do you feel now compared to how you felt in the first few weeks of the season? Because now I'm more positive. I'm seeing improvements game by game. And I think at times we as fans, I don't have patience, myself included. I'd like to believe I'm a rational person, but at times when it comes to football, I do not have patience. And I was watching this mini documentary of Pirates, and Jose Riviero mentioned something. I can't remember which game they were going to play in the MTN 8. He said he doesn't expect it's the first few games of the season. I do not expect a perfect performance. Whereas, and I thought back to us Sundown supporters, and we're quick and harsh with our words and with our tongues and our fingers. We wanted to see a proper performance as season has started. Forgetting, ignoring the fact that we have a new technical team which has a different philosophy that they need to implement, and it might take time because friendlies, preseason, and games of consequences are totally different. But I'm seeing a whole lot more positive things, man. Like I said, I'm seeing us improve game by game. We creating chances, scoring chances. Yes, I'm still a bit worried about the number of goal scoring opportunities we are giving away, but I think the technical team will work on that. Where are you, Wena, at this moment?
I'm a 10 match guy or in terms of assessment your team, and you are very correct in saying we as fans, we tend to be unfair and very emotional at times, and it's not right. It's not right, because we should have learned this long time ago. Coach Piso used, apologies for referring to the GOAT. I'm gonna, because he educated us quite a lot. We should have learned that it takes time. And also, yes, Coach Mangoba has been there, but he's got his own way, which we were, sort of not quite sure, or a fear of the unknown, how he's going to approach, and is it going to work? Why are you changing what we've known to have always been working by the previous coach, So the first few games, I was not okay. I was not okay, but I'm glad that I was not quick here. Privately maybe but generally on the other platforms I was not okay. But I've come to actually realize what is he trying to do. You understand? And right now it might not look perfect, but I think if everybody, the executioner, the player, and Liena, he learns from whatever mistakes that he's making right now and adjust as we go along, it will come out very clean. Because remember, we need to score as much goal as we want, as we need in a match. But we need to also be careful of the chances that we are creating at the back. And player who adjusted to a new system, it's not overnight, people. It is not overnight. It does not happen just like that. You understand? So Limona Machita, because this is a very intense game. You see a lot of back and forth. After ball rotation very long. You understand? You have to get into the box quicker, create a chance, score, come back, counter, what. Now you must press. Now, there's so much energy that's required of players, and mental, strength from the players for such a system here, Coach Mangoba. And I'm quite happy with the progress that the team has made. More so, yes, obviously, Marumo, but you have to beat who's in front of you. Imagine if Marumo, then you say, oh, Marumo. But we were there, and we did quite good, you understand? And I'm happy with the players that when they get given a chance, they raise their hand and say, Coach, put me back in. Yes, we might not see them come the next game for whatever reason, but I'm quite happy with a lot of our players that when they played, you understand, they've raised their hand and said, no, Coach, because I'm into the system, and we will do what is required to show that your system will work within the team.
Yeah, no, man, I agree, man. Hopefully, after this, when we resume on Saturday, we see more improvements on all these aspects, What do you expect from this game on Saturday from both Golden Arrows?
What's about? I was surprised by Arrows this season when they started. They won their first 3 games. I was like,
they won their first first 2 and lost the next 2.
No, they played 5 games. Unless Nick Shivle calendar error. They've beaten Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
Didn't they play against? Have they played 5 games so far, Kir?
They beat Stellies, they beat Gallants, they lost to Magesi, Kuku.
So they've only played 4 games this season.
Yeah, I think it's 4. Yeah.
Okay, because probably I saw another game in Amazulu where they beat Amazulu. So probably nearly came out last season or something like that. So I was quite impressed when they started. I was quite surprised for heaven. But I noticed they were playing a different system when they were winning those games. So when they won those 2 games, they were playing a 4-2-3-1, right? Which is obviously a more, not really. They have the 2 people behind, just in front of the defenders, to guard. But they've also got a very, how do I say this? A very attack-minded players in that 2 and the front 3, the 3 just before the striker. So the approach was very interesting to witness. Though I might say, those games that they won, they could have easily lost. Because the teams that they were playing against wasted so many chances. They wasted. Gallants should have beaten them if it weren't needed. Gallants should have beaten. They were shooting, but Gallants should have beaten those guys. And Gallants considering, you can see it's high school errors. You understand? And I'm not really worried. I'm not really worried because I just feel they are there for. I think they are honoring a fixture. That's my approach. That's my view. When they play, they're just there to honor the fixture. But ambition, they're just there to honor the team. And they've lost a couple of players, obviously with Sevilla and whatnot. And they've brought in a couple of players. Super Sport Phillips. And they've brought in also Masuku. Masuku, you're always, in my view, you're 1 man down, Kayena, when you're playing. He's got posture over lazy. I don't know when Kaka or maybe and maybe I'm too judgmental, I'm too harsh. But when I posture over lazy, So when you have him in the field, you are 1 man down. And that's why I'm not really worried in terms of what they will offer. But one thing I always know, they've got Mutizwa and Sevilla. I think those 2, when they play against us, I don't know, something in them just says, go hard, show your best. I don't know, maybe about contract, but obviously, I don't think they're quality enough to come in. But they always show up. They always fight. Even if we beat them, they are always there to create a threat. And if we're not wary enough, you understand, we might concede. Of which I think this game is not a game where we should be conceding or worried about Gallants. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. From my side, man, the one thing that I've observed when we played Golden Arrows recently is that they sit back when they play against us. I do not know why they do it, but most of the time when they play us, they sit back, So I would expect us to have a quick start, try and get an early goal to open the game. Because this is a cup game. Once we score, we now force them to attack and try and get an equalizer, So I think a quick start from us will open them up, and a goal will open them up. You mentioned Gamia Gallants, man. Gallants, like you said, should have easily won that game. They had chance after chance. They had possession for days, but they didn't capitalize or use any of those tools to their benefit, Whereas these guys, they used their chances. And I think they have a good player that can help you on their day. You mentioned Sibia, you mentioned Mutizo, and then there's Buse as well. So I think if we don't take care of those guys, they might hurt us. Ne? And then if they approach the game the way I expect them to approach it, in terms of sitting back like they've done in recent times when they've played us, I think they might deny that will definitely deny misusing Reina's room to run behind. Now, this is where you think someone like Ribeiro will be key, in finding space, because they try and suffocate space more in our final third, their first third. Ne? But I think they might say their left back must sit. I think they might double up left back, someone maybe like Zuke on Ribeiro, because of they know how dangerous he is. Now, this is where I think our 8 will be important with their runs into the box, And we've seen in recent weeks, so our eights, Rapela mentioned it in one of our recent previews, our eights are getting into the box and they need to finish when they get chances. So I think that's how we might win the game, from people coming from deep, Chibaviro gave us a tough time at FNB, man. I personally think he bullied our centre backs. He bullied both Grande and the smart thing that he did is that he tried, Limango, I think, mentioned it, but he didn't get in between the two centre backs. He played on their shoulders, and then he used his strength and pace, I think Nguse, because he's similar profile to Chibaviro, he will bring that element, and his technical team will advise him to do that, having seen how our centre backs have struggled with that, play on the shoulder and use your pace. The goal that Bafana considered against Congo midweek, it was similar in a way to the one that we considered against Chiefs. And the striker said, I think he came from Grant's shoulder and came in between, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I think that's how they might approach this game. Let's get on to the lineup as we're running out of time. Give me your lineup, Debza.
Pending for Coach Mangoba, sorry to interject. Pending for Coach Mangoba, what does he want to do? Because last time after the international break, he said he wanted to do periodization at the player and not use players who come from Bafana immediately and use whoever he was working with, or at Chlorkop. So my lineup will be based on that reasoning behind it. You understand? But if not, then obviously it might change. So in my lineup, I've got Ronwene starting. I've got Mutinyela ko right. I've got Johannes Lilihusa. I've got Tiani, right? Then I've got Riva Blessa le Allende, right? Then obviously Kopili Kinale Teshi Lochili Lucas, because I'm in my expectation is that Bo Tashrik Bo Reynas might not play because Baswa Kako, but if he changes, then obviously we'll see the usual suspects to Kopili.
With Ribeiro playing as the focal point, I think.
I don't know. I enjoy Ribeiro from the side, eh?
Yeah, that's what
because I think he's got more of all the side angles, and he can go forward. The minute I think that's when he gets frustrated. That's when you lose him and you start going deeper. Then now Ausana Mutumole as a focal point. So rather I would have Tashrik in the center or Lodge in the center. But Liwana, if another 10, Lodge another 10, then obviously allow Tashrik but they must play wide from each other, not centrally.
No, I hear you. I can see the picture that you are painting, man. And now you have a mixture of both the international guys as well as the guys that stay behind. I'll have Williams, my right back will be Modau, I'll have Grande, Lemfala, and then Tiwani at left back. My six will be, everyone knows, I always mentioned it, my favorite player is Fandom River, and then Mujiba and Debza as my 2-8s. Up front, I'll have the usual, or the now usual front player, Ribeiro, Reynolds, Le Matthews. Score prediction?
I think we should easily win 3-0 this game. Eh?
I agree with the number of goals that we will score with you, but I think we will concede because I feel like we're giving away way too many chances to the opponents. So I think we will win 3-1. Yeah, man. That's it, Masandawana. Thank you for tuning in, for taking your time to watch another installment of the Yellow Corner. The next time you see us will be on Sunday as we preview our game week 4 fixture against the Royal AM, game that we play next week Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please continue subscribing, help us grow this channel. And Debza, thank you for joining me. Hopefully you won't be a stranger here, right?
Anytime, my man. Anytime. Sharp, Aizo. Sharp, Masandawana.
Sure.